Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday, 26th of March 2021. Today in Millwall news, we had a Millwall match, a Millwall under 23s. They won the first time in a long time. They won 3-2 away at Colchester United. And this is from millfc.co.uk, the club's official site. I'm going to read through it now. It says Millwall under 23s were 3-2 victors over Colchester United in the Professional Development League on Friday afternoon. Goals from Arthur Penny, Tyler Burry and Sean O'Brien sent Millwall into a 3-0 lead. Despite two late Colchester goals, Kevin Nugent's side held on for a much needed first win in 9 matches. The game was just 13 minutes old when Penny gave the Lions the lead, and their advantage was doubled on the half hour as Burry converted from the penalty spot. O'Brien, a replacement for Conor Mahoney, who played 60 minutes on his return from injury, was on the field for just 9 minutes before putting the Lions free to the good. But 76 and 85 minutes played respectively, the advantage was reduced to 2 and 1 as the U's mustered a fight back. Nugent's side were, however, able to hang on, claim all 3 points. Next up for Millwall under 23s is an away trip, this time to Bristol City on Tuesday the 30th of March. And the team is as follows: Sandford, Moss, Tenzia, Duncan, Penny, Muller, Burry, subbed off for Davis, Skeffington, Alexander, Leahy, subbed off for Ransom, Mahoney and O'Brien, subbed off for O'Brien. So there you go. Conor Mahoney getting 60 minutes in this game. He got 45 minutes in the last game, which was on Monday. And Tyler Burry playing again, scoring again. So not bad. And that leaves the table, the league, looking like this. So Mill played 20, won 7, drawn 6, lost 7, 26 goals for, 26 goals against, 27 points, third in the league. There you go. And also in today's Millwall news, we had I imagine this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is the South London Press's online website. And the South London Press looking for copy, something to print during this bleak mid-season international break, gave John Berylson a call and got a couple of stories from John Berylson that they could print, and we're going to go through them now. So, Millwall owner John Berylson: I know we need to add to offence in summer. That's what they call attack in America, offence, in summer transfer window. Millwall owner John Berylson knows that strengthening their attacking options in the summer transfer window is top priority. The Lions' long-serving chairman is still determined to get value for money. It is more than a year without supporters and matches due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 10th place Millwall are the lowest scorers in the top half of the championship table. But Boston-based businessman Berylson, Jesus, what's that? 5 words in a row beginning with B. But Boston-based businessman Berylson, who has been bankrolling the Lions since 2007, reckons it is tough to find players who are guaranteed to deliver goals. We know what we need on this team, he told the South London Press in an exclusive interview. We need offense on this team. Just imagine if we average more than a goal a game, which we currently have done. With all those draws we have, that's a potential 15 to 20 points that we've left on the ground. We'll try and fix that. I know we need goals. Some players have maybe not played to their full potential for different reasons. While some have been injured, we've had 9 significant injuries this season. There are things we need to do. There are some players who won't return. There are ones who will return. And there are some positions we need to fill. My intention is to do the right thing. I don't know if people are willing to sell players, but here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to pay prices for people who aren't worth it. This is my 15th or 16th year at the club, something crazy like that. I've been here a long enough time to learn a little bit about the game. I go out of my way every year to look at transactions and what people were prepared to pay for certain players and how did they perform. You've got to pay the right price for the right players. For the most part, we come pretty close to that. Then it comes down to making them motivated and respected for their ability. Don't overpay for players who really don't add much to your squad. I do think you have to pay for those players who make your squad. We want to be a strong team. We're going to do what we can to improve this team because we do have ambition. We look at the teams around us. Norwich are clear at the top and they haven't beaten us. Bournemouth didn't beat us. Watford didn't beat us. And Swansea shouldn't have beaten us. Cardiff didn't beat us. Middlesbrough did. And that was on my list of 3 bad games out of the 36 we played. I count Blackburn as one of those. I was disappointed to lose to Barnsley, but look what they did from there. 9 wins out of 10 matches. We were in that game. Maybe we were not so terrible after all. I don't know how they are doing it, but credit to them. We didn't just beat Reading, we took them apart. My view is that we're certainly in striking distance of these top teams. Our record against teams coming down from the Premier League is 0 defeats, 0 wins, and 4 draws. And they are stacked with parachute payments. Ooh-wee. Millwall went down the loan route in terms of trying to boost their firepower. Injuries have seen West Brom's Kenneth Hall play just 11 league games since joining in mid-October, while highly touted Tottenham teenager Troy Parrott's stay was terminated in January as he struggled for first-team action. Asked about strikers being an expensive outlay, Berylson replied, "Of course they are, and it's extended back even further to attacking midfielders, who seem to dominate some games as well. Take Harry Wilson. He's made a huge difference to Cardiff. I believe that was for a big loan fee alone. When you see Ollie Watkins go for a lot, I just don't know what that price is going to be in these troubled times. But take a look at our league right now and you tell me how many strikers you see now for putting the ball in the net. I can count them. Kiefer Moore is having a great year at Cardiff. He seems to be getting close to a goal a game. Ivan Toney is having a great year at Brentford. He has definitely performed, no question. Pookie is not doing as well as 2 years ago, but he's still doing just fine. Barnsley have been winning. Their strikers are good, but are they great? Not clear. Jamal Lowe has gone from a winger to a striker at Swansea. But nobody blows me away, and I'm surprised about that. We clearly have to develop some goal scorers. We have to expand our scouting, which we have, and find these people from other places. Defense is what has kept us where we are. If you ask how we got here, I would say it's a combination of Gary Rowett, the coaching staff, and the defense. So there you go. That was one of the stories, and they basically spun out the interview. Richard Crawley, the journalist for the South London Press, basically spun out a phone call with John Berylson into 2 stories today. Maybe would there be more? I don't know. But here's the other one they got. This is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. It says Millwall chairman John Berylson opens on the opens up on the challenges of owning a football club during the COVID-19 pandemic. John Berylson's financial backing has been vital to Millwall since 2007, and the absence of fans at the Den for more than a year has seen the American take an extra huge hit. The Lions' last match with paying punters in the SE16 was February 29, 2020. 13,584 in attendance for a 1-1 draw against Bristol City. Since then, 27 matches have been played behind closed doors at the Den, 22 of those in the current campaign due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Millwall Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh calculates that as 8 million in lost revenue, describing that figure as horrifying, with Berylson required to plough in an extra 5 to 10 million to bridge the gap. Running a championship football club is not cheap in the first place, let alone in a pandemic. So how has Berylson, based in Boston, Massachusetts, found the whole experience? There are 23 home league games and we are averaging almost 15,000 people a game going into lockdown. If you do the math on what the average spend is on the tickets and everything else would be, we're losing that. That's just lost revenue. That's just minus, no matter how well you manage a club. And I feel we have great management, but you start off with an enormous hole. We're not getting any help from the Premier League, the media outlets, or the government of any significance. There were loans towards the PAYE, but that's just a loan. It's not really helping my book. The cash losses are enormous. Then there are the teams who break the rules. You have teams that are going to lose 20 to 30 million this season. Some were losing that before this. I have other businesses, so nothing is easy. I operate in lots of countries, and one of the biggest problems in operating anything in any country is politicians. People like me provide jobs to make things difficult. Makes no sense, including in my country. I may be a little bit biased about this, but I think the Scandinavians got it right from the start, which was to try and be as normal as possible. It's a difficult environment. I hope it doesn't last much longer. It's economically harmful, it's socially harmful, and it is affecting the players' ability. Our players are better when the fans are present. For some of them, their performances are due to not feeling the backing of the crowd. From a country perspective, I don't think the government realizes how important football is to your population. Were we as a sport to disappear, you could be on the verge of social issues like we've had in the US. A lot of violence here has occurred because people are at home doing nothing. There is no positive out of this other than the vaccines. Your country, our country, and Scandinavia appear to be faring better. I don't think any business management team has had a lot to work with. The fact we've been able to muddle through to this point is great testament to our senior management team. The hope is that fans will be allowed back into stadiums in the 2021 to 22 season, but there are no cast iron guarantees on that. Lockdowns have been eased and clamped back down based on the spread of disease. Even if the turnstiles do open, it could be with reduced numbers. Berylson admits that uncertainty within the industry impacted what Millwall did in January. They paid an undisclosed fee to sign George Evans from Derby County. They also saw bids rejected for other players, such as Barnsley midfielder Alex Mowat and Hibernian centre-back Ryan Porteous. Berylson said, "Might we have bought another player? Possible. A lot of teams have not brought the values of their players down, even though they are under duress. As we approach the transfer season, you're thinking about changes to improve the team, because this is unproductive use of money, covering the absence of supporters. Has occurred for a year now. It's why January did not see that many transactions. There are some teams who are doing quite well. It will be really interesting if they continue to do well. Their fans will demand they pay their players more and buy some players. There may be some teams who end up in the top 6, 8, or 10 who won't be able to sustain it because the cost will be enormous. Think if you're a League One team, you get promoted this year, and you spend another 6 months like this. Just think of the costs if you're an owner who before last month had cost controls and salary caps. Think what you're facing here. Some of these promoted teams are going to find themselves needing double-digit millions just to have a chance to remain in the championship for more than a year, or not even trying to. Berylson usually jets over to watch 15 to 20 matches in a season. Now he is limited to the club's streaming service on iFollow. I'm the worst of superstitions, he said. I could be going skiing in 2 hours and I'll be dressed in shorts, the same t-shirt, a lucky watch, or the same glasses. I'll try and sit in the same places. In games we've lost, I'll realize I didn't do the same thing. I'll say to Steve, forget it. It was my fault. I'm not a religious person, but I'm very superstitious. I'm cognizant. It's probably not me, but that doesn't mean I won't take the responsibility if I screw things up with my pre-game routine. Gary has done a great job. You know, we always tend to do better in the second half of the season. Chasing is always easier than being chased because you're looking behind all the time. If you know where you're going, you tend to run a little bit straighter. Berylson opted for Rowett to succeed Neil Harris in October 2019. The former Stoke, Derby and Birmingham boss is his fifth appointment. Mill's hopes of the 2019-2020 playoffs were only ended after the penultimate round of fixtures. It was a magnificent job by Gary getting us there because we wobbled a bit after the break, said Berylson. Neil was a good appointment. Not too many teams go to the playoff finals, lose, and get there again this season and win. I think if you look it up, the last two teams to do it were Millwall and Millwall. We're Bradford City these days, and Swindon lost to us. It's very hard to keep the enthusiasm and go for it again, which we did under Kenny Jackett and Neil. Neil had a tough year and then a tough start. To his credit, he basically said, I don't know how to take the team forward. Gary fortunately turned up. We had a great conversation for the first time. I think as long as he didn't throw up all over himself, he knew he was probably going to get the job. He was very analytical and went through all the players. I don't know how we'd have done if we got into the playoffs because the other teams were better than we were. Gary did a fabulous job last year. This year we've had rocky games and way too many critical injuries. I've heard our attack, but we aren't out of it. We're still breathing. Berylson has been unable to travel due to COVID-19. I'm fortunate to have a ski house. That's my escape. Most people don't have those escapes, do they? So I consider myself quite fortunate. My plate is not so terrible. Because of the pandemic, my wife has not been able to spend as much money as she usually does. I'm thrilled. Her credit cards are significantly less than they usually are. But Millwall does continue to be a cash drain for Berylson, but also a love fin. So there you go. John Berylson, chairman, speaking to South London Press, and they've put it into two stories, and I've just conveyed that to you. Aren't you lucky? Thank you for watching. Bye.